Are the odds in your favor? After week 2, there are 10 teams that are 2-0. Raise your hand if you're one of them. You're 0-2.
Oh.
There are 12 teams that are 1-1. Raise your hand if you're 1-1. There are 10 teams that are 0-2. I know that in the NFL, how many teams are there?
32.
There's 32 NFL teams. Okay, 10 plus 12 plus 10. Does that equal 32?
Yes.
Depending on if your team wins or loses, they'll move on to one of these records. Is it possible for my 0-2 Dolphins to move to 3-0 after this weekend? No. What's possible for my 0-2 Dolphins? They can either move to 1-2 or they can drop down to 0-3. This is kind of like where our 2-0 teams sit. They can go this way or they can go this way. This is where our 1-1 teams sit. They can either move up to 2-1 or they can move down to 1-2. This, sadly, is where all of our 0-2 teams sit. They can move up to 1-2 or down to 0-3. Well, that's all great and dandy, but what does that mean, Miss Crippen? What does this first little blurb say? Made playoffs. My team, the Dolphins, if they drop to 0-3, meaning they lose tonight against the Bills, 2.4% make the playoffs. Is that a lot of? No. Let's look at this. Let's say the Dolphins pull off the W tonight and they go 1-2. 24.9% to make the playoffs. Do you see how big of a jump that is by going 0-3 and by going 1-2 by week 3? Increase by how much? 24.9 minus 2.4. This number right here, this 4 of 165, this 93 of 374. There are 165 teams who have started 0-3 in the NFL before. That's what that number that's what that denominator says. How many of them have made the playoffs? 4. That's where that 2.4% comes in. So while it's not a great chance, is it possible? It is possible. And we learned that with Josh Allen when we had that stat with the Ravens. So there's always a chance. All the teams that have started off going 0-3, only 4 teams have made the playoffs. We can look that up later. You know how we talk about your division and how each week I say, okay, what number are you ranked in your division? And you finish week 18 and you're number 1 in your division, you have won your division. Out of the 165 teams that have started 0-3, 4 of them made the playoffs, and then 2 of them have actually won their division. Let's move over here. How many teams that have started 0-3 have won the Super Bowl? 0. There has never, ever been a team that has started 0-3 that has gone on to win the Super Bowl. Does that mean that this can't change? Because this year, you know what could happen? It could be this. One of your teams could be the person that does it. This doesn't mean it's not going to happen. This means it just hasn't happened before. Let's look at our 2-0 teams. 3-0, or they can go 2-1. If my 2-0 teams go to 3-0 to make the playoffs, 75.3% make the playoffs. Do you see the difference by just how you start? That's 72.9% more make the playoffs if you start 3-0 than if you start 0-3. What's the percent that has won their division? 51%. Half of those teams who have started 3-0 go on to be number 1 in their division. 87 out of 170 teams. What percent win the Super Bowl? 9.4% of these teams win the Super Bowl. So do you see how while, yes, it's early on in the season, yes, just week 3, we've got a long way to go, but do you see how every game matters? 128 of the teams that started 3-0, they made the playoffs. A number of those didn't. If we subtract 170 minus 128, we can find the teams that did not make the playoffs, even when they started 3-0, even when they started off winning 3 in a row. 42 teams that started 3-0 still didn't make the playoffs. Still that's why all the games matter, right? Because somewhere down the line they messed up. Somewhere down the line they started off hot and then they lost steam. And that could happen. And then one of these teams could start making their climb. Yes.
And more people that have had 2 and 1 have gone to the playoffs than 3 and 0.
A really great stat. More teams have gotten to the playoffs when they're 2 and 1 than when they're 3 and 0. That's a good thing to look at. How week 3, while it can't predict your future because we know anything can happen, we can be the one of 166 that start 0 and 3 and make it all the way and win the Super Bowl. We can be that team. But it kind of puts us into a reality check. Your team can be the one to change it.
And that's gonna happen.
It could happen. Anything can happen. Anything can